So the finals just did a mid-season update adding emerald weapons to the World Tour progression path. And while these weapons look cool, I just don't know who this update is for. I want to preface this video by saying I am a gamer. I have no kids. I am the person sweating their balls off in games like this. I've gotten Diamond in Season 1 and 2. I'd like to think I'm pretty good at this game. I am also no stranger to grinds. I am an old school MMORPG player with multiple years of slash played time on MMORPGs. The grind is not something that scares me. But I gotta say, this is nuts. I just don't know who this is for. Because even your dedicated players playing a few hours every day, this is likely going to be something they're not going to be able to do. And I fully expect as the weeks go on, many people are just going to give up on this because the math is just absolutely dire. So let's talk about it. So what does it take to get the Emerald AK? Well, the first thing you need to keep in mind is that this is a time-limited event. You have 46 days to do this. And if you were to start right now from scratch, you need to get roughly 3 tournament wins, full tournament wins, winning the final round every day for the next 46 days. God forbid you don't get 3 tournament wins every day and then you need to start getting 4 on average a day, or you don't play one day, or you get bad teammates. 3 tournament wins is a lot. That's a lot to do in a game that has as much randomness as this game has. And you also need to keep in mind that with these skins being introduced, all of the sweatiest of Sweatlord players are now playing the game again. So these tournament wins are even harder now than they've ever been before. And you need to get 3 a day if you're starting from scratch, starting at the very bottom. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt and start you off at the highest rank. Let's say you're starting off at Gold 1 right now. You've been playing the finals this whole time. You're really good at the game. You've been winning a bunch of tournaments. We're starting you off at Gold 1. You still need to win 70 full tournaments all the way up until the final round and win to get the Emerald AK. Now keep in mind, you get nothing if you make it to the final round and lose. So that means you're going to have a lot of games where you are invested, 35, 40 minutes into a full tournament, lose, and get nothing. And unless you are, again, one of these very dedicated Twitch streamers playing in a full party, 70 tournament wins is a lot. That's a lot. And even at a high win percentage, that's still a lot of time because you got to think each tournament win, if you win 100% of them, it's still 35 minutes to win a tournament, and you got to get 70 of them in 46 days. Even if you're winning 100% of your games, which again, extremely difficult in this current environment where all of the sweatiest people are now trying to get this skin. Dude, this is going to be a challenge this is going to be an impossibility for a normal player. Even if you're a good player playing by yourself, I almost think this is impossible. But even if you're a Twitch streamer playing like 6 to 8 hours a day in a stack, I still think this is going to be a lot more difficult than people think. And I expect this skin will be pretty rare, especially as the days go on. Right now, the skin just dropped, so everybody's still like freshly motivated. But I think people's motivation is going to really start to wane once they miss a day. If you're getting 3 or 4 tournament wins a day, you're like, oh, dude, I can do this. But like, let's say you got to go out of town for a few days, and then now all of a sudden you need to get 4 tournament wins a day, 5, and the math just really starts to compound. I just don't think a lot of people are going to stick this one out. It's a huge time investment. Again, I think the only people that are going to get this are the people that streaming the finals is their job, and they just do this for 6 to 8 hours a day in their full stacks, and they have a high win percentage in tournaments. I think those are the only people that are going to really be able to do this. And even for them, this is still going to take a long ass time. 70 full wins is a lot. And if you're just an average skilled player, this is just outright impossible for you. It's not going to happen for you. Your win percentage is too low in these tournaments, and the people you're going to be facing are just way too sweaty, playing in stacks. And the thing of it is that you get no credit unless you fully win the tournament. And if you're playing ranked in the past when you played ranked, if you were playing solo, when you would get bad teammates on your team, you'd lose less. So when I grinded to Diamond in Season 1 and 2, I played those solo all the way up. And yes, I would have bad teammates, but my losses were not as penalized, and I didn't need to win as much. I could make it to the final round and lose and still get a bunch of, elo for it because the game didn't expect me to get that far in the first place. With this, You get nothing if you don't win the absolute final round. So only the very best stacks are going to make any sort of progress. So being a good player and making it into the deeper rounds means nothing. Unless you can win, unless you can flat out carry your terrible teammates, which if you're a good player, naturally the game is going to give you worse teammates because that's just what the matchmaker does in an effort to give these lower ranked players a fucking chance at winning. You're not going to have that benefit. You know, a lot of you guys that hit Diamond in season 1 and season 2 like me, you're not going to stand a chance here because you're just not going to get anything for making it to the final round and losing or making it into the knockout rounds that the game never expected you to make it into. So, dude, this is a rough one, man. I don't think people would have minded this grind, even in its current implementation, if it was in the game from the very start of the season. But when you put people on the clock like this and give them only 46 days to do this, it's crazy. And I'm someone that likes exclusive skins like this. You know, I'm an MMORPG player. I kind of like the grindy exclusive things, but this is just crazy, man. You really are making a skin only for like a few Twitch streamers. I will be shocked if this skin is not incredibly rare. Unless they make changes to it, unless they nerf this and make it easier, which again, I don't even think I want them to. If you're gonna make an exclusive skin, stick by it. Make it exclusive. Do not nerf it. Don't just piss off the crazy people that do grind this out. You know, it's in the game. Leave it. But I just don't know what the hell they were thinking with this. Like, the math behind this is crazy. But if it was in the game from the very start and people could sort of plan accordingly, I don't think people would have minded, because over how long of the season? 90 plus days. When you have a longer period of time, obviously it's easier because it's less of a, concentrated grinding period, but also, you can make progress towards it on that, weekend where, your wife goes out of town and you can play video games all weekend and you can make a whole bunch of progress towards that goal. And maybe next weekend you can't, but you're not as heavily punished as you would be when you only have 46 days. And now those 3 tournament wins, now you need to get 4 a day. Like, it's just crazy. In other news, Terminal Attack is still in the fucking game, worse than ever. Nobody is playing it. There's so few people playing it. The matchmaker just gives up, dude. It just makes games with like top 500 in bronze. Like, dude, nobody gives a fuck about Terminal Attack. It's actually hilarious, but they're sticking by it. They are the band playing as the Titanic sinks. It's actually hilarious how horrific that game mode is. And speaking of Terminal Attack, I like exclusive things. I think exclusive things are good in games. Especially, again, I'm an MMORPG player, so I just like that. Top 500 weapons, I like that. But I don't like Terminal Attack. Terminal Attack is just obviously, objectively, a fucking bad game mode. But they're going to ride it out. It's still in the game, and I fully expect that it will be removed entirely from the game. I wouldn't be shocked if they remove it from quick play. I think next season they're just going to pretend like it never happened, which is probably the correct move. And speaking of next season, oh man, I am a fan of this game. I really like this game. I think it's one of the best FPS games to come out in a long time, but it's very difficult to be a fan of the finals because they just keep fucking it up, man. Season 4 for this game, in my opinion, is a make or break thing. If Season 4 is as bad as Season 3, I think the game overall might just be completely toast. People are just not going to stick around. They're not sticking around right now. I think the only reason they even have the players they have is because people have hope for the game. But if that hope is quashed with a bad Season 4, they're just going to pack it up. People only can tolerate so much. And I think Season 4 needs to come out and it needs to have new weapons that are not gimmicky. They're not weird melee, haha, fun weapons. They need to be, weapons that people actually use. Weapons that get people to stop using the AK and the FCAR and the XP11 and the Lewis gun. They need to be weapons that change the game. You need to have new specializations that change the game, that genuinely mix things up. A new map, obviously. Maybe, I think one big thing this game needs is a long-term progression system not tied to the Battle Pass. That Battle Pass is fine, that's great. But there needs to be some other system of long-term something that people can grind out for years. Just and you don't need crazy rewards, just gimmicky shit like title cards and maybe a cosmetic here or there, and have it just be an unlimited grind that never ends. Just a little bar to fill. That's it. They have that with the career levels. Maybe expand the career levels. You don't need crazy cosmetics. It can be knick-knacky bullshit, weapon charm stickers. It doesn't need to be something they put a lot of time and effort into. I understand that they gotta save their artists time for the battle pass and the things to make the money, but I do think that an unlimited XP something would help this game tremendously. I mean, there are people that grind X Defiant just to watch their little player level go up. And they're just people that like being level 300 or whatever it is. People like doing that stuff. And I think that adding that would be a fairly low effort way to just kind of give people a reason to grind out the same old game modes after they've completed the battle pass or whatever it may be. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I just think that the Emerald Weapon implementation is just terrible. I get why they did it the way they did it, why they added it in the middle of the season, because they know that the player numbers fall off in the middle of the season when people complete the battle pass. But this is just a really shitty way to juice up the numbers temporarily, and I just don't think it's going to work. It might work for a week or two, but as people realize the dire nature of the mathematics behind getting an Emerald Weapon, they're just going to give up and quit and have a shitty taste in their mouth. Because it's just a crazy grind. I just don't know who it's for, I'm a grinder, man. I'm a sweat lord grinder, and this is too much for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have a good one.